What if I told you the bottle of olive oil sitting in your kitchen right now might not even be olive oil? It could be a mix of cheap seed oils, expired imports, and clever marketing dressed up in a fancy Italian label. And the worst part? Some of the most trusted names on the shelf are the biggest offenders. Before we dive into the 9 brands you should throw out today and the 5 that are actually the real deal, do me one small favor. If you cook with olive oil, if your family cooks with olive oil, or if you just care about what goes into your body, smash that like button, hit subscribe, and share this video with someone who still thinks expensive means honest. It might save their health. All right, let's get into it. For decades, olive oil has been sold to us as liquid gold, a superfood, a Mediterranean secret, a must-have in every healthy kitchen, and that reputation is well-earned. Real extra virgin olive oil can lower inflammation, protect your heart, support your brain, and even fight certain cancers. But here's where the story turns dark. A landmark study from the University of California, Davis, along with investigations by the Italian government and a wave of class action lawsuits, uncovered something shocking. About 73% of the top-selling extra virgin olive oils in America are not actually extra virgin. Many of them barely qualify as olive oil at all. They are diluted, oxidized, and mislabeled. In some cases, they are cut with completely different oils like canola or rapeseed. And you have been paying premium prices for it. So today we are pulling back the curtain. We're starting with the 9 olive oils you should stop buying. Then we'll reveal the 5 that are worth every penny. Let's begin at number 9 with a name almost every household knows, Bertolli. This brand has been around since 1865, and for over 100 years, that Italian heritage was its biggest selling point. But here is what most people don't realize. Bertolli is no longer an Italian company. In 2014, it was acquired by Deoleo, a Spanish conglomerate. And just 1 year later, the Italian government launched a full investigation. They accused Bertolli and several other brands of a very simple but very dirty trick. They were sourcing cheap oils from other countries, shipping them into Italy, bottling them there, and then slapping a Made in Italy label on the front. That's not tradition, that's theater. And it gets worse. The UC Davis study found that 72% of Bertolli's extra virgin olive oil samples failed basic sensory tests. That means they didn't taste, smell, or feel like real extra virgin olive oil. Yet the brand never admitted fault. They never released their polyphenol data, which is the one number that would prove whether their oil is actually healthy. When a company hides that kind of information, they are hiding something bigger. Next up at number 8 is Filippo Berio. This brand actually predates Bertolli. It was founded by an Italian merchant who wanted to sell the finest oils in the world, and for over a century it did just that. But somewhere along the way the mission got lost. The same UC Davis study found that 83% of Filippo Berio's extra virgin olive oil samples failed sensory testing. 83%. In 2015, the Italian government also placed them under investigation. Today, the brand blends olives from Tunisia, Greece, and Spain. By the time those olives are pressed, shipped, blended, and bottled, and finally placed on a shelf in your grocery store, whatever was extra virgin about them is long gone. Customers on Reddit have shared their frustration for years. They talk about a flat, forgettable flavor, poor performance in cooking, and a strange aftertaste that lingers. That aftertaste is often the smell of oxidation. Oil that has sat too long, been exposed to heat or light, or was never truly high quality to begin with. Then in 2022, an independent investigation found traces of mineral oil residue and pesticides in several Filippo Berio products. Read that sentence again. Mineral oil, pesticides, in a product marketed as pure, premium, and healthy. And unfortunately, the same problem shows up in America's best-selling brand, which we will get to soon. Coming in at number 7 is a name you probably didn't expect to see on this list. Good and Gather from Target. Target has done an incredible job building the Good and Gather label into something that feels trustworthy, clean, and affordable. But when it comes to their extra virgin olive oil, the story falls apart quickly. Consumer Reports tested all the major olive oil brands in the United States and gave Good and Gather a rating of just 2 out of 5. The biggest complaint was that the oil had no fruit flavor at all, and when olive oil loses its fruity character, it means one of 3 things. It was stored badly, it sat too long, or it was damaged by heat. Now, here is something to remember. Honest olive oil brands proudly print the harvest date on the bottle. They also list the country of origin, the polyphenol level, and the acidity percentage. Good and Gather doesn't share any of that. No harvest date, no estate, no transparency. For a product marketed as premium, that silence tells you everything. Now hold on for 1 second, because we have got a lot more to expose, and I don't want you to miss any of it. If this is opening your eyes even a little, take 2 seconds to hit that subscribe button and turn on notifications. We break down shady food industry secrets every single week, and trust me, your kitchen will thank you. All right, let's keep going. At number 6, we have Great Value from Walmart. This one is priced at about $9 for a 25-ounce bottle, making it the cheapest extra virgin olive oil in the country. Now, low price isn't automatically a red flag, but look at what's actually inside. The Great Value extra virgin olive oil is a blend from 7 different countries: Argentina, Greece, Italy, Morocco, Portugal, Spain, and Tunisia. Think about that. Oils harvested in 7 different climates, from 7 different growing seasons, from farms with 7 different quality standards, all mixed into a single bottle. That is a nightmare scenario for contamination and adulteration. Real olive oil quality lives or dies by something called oleocanthal. It is the compound that gives real extra virgin olive oil that peppery bite in the back of your throat. Oleocanthal is not just about flavor. It works in your body like a natural version of ibuprofen. It fights chronic inflammation, protects your heart and brain, and some studies suggest it may even attack cancer cells. When olive oil is blended from too many sources or sits on shelves too long, that oleocanthal disappears, and once it's gone, the oil is essentially just yellow fat. Consumer Reports also rated Great Value 2 out of 5 with the same complaint: no fruit, no life, no character. At number 5, we meet a brand that broke my heart a little: Colavita. On paper, this is the kind of company you want to root for. Family owned, 4 generations, rooted in the Molise region of Italy. The marketing talks about tradition, heritage, and passion. But when you flip the bottle around, the truth doesn't match the packaging. The label admits that the oil comes from one or more of these countries: Italy, Greece, Portugal, and Spain, which means you have no idea what you're actually pouring. Colavita also stumbled badly in the UC Davis study, with 56% of its samples failing sensory tests. The Italian government investigated them in 2015 as well. They were eventually cleared of some allegations. But here's the twist. Colavita does make a genuine extra virgin olive oil from 100% Italian olives. It just isn't the one they send to the United States. American shoppers get the diluted version. At 63 cents per ounce, you're paying a premium price for a compromised product. At number 4, we have Zoe Organic. Zoe markets itself as luxury, rare olives, hand-selected, small batch feel. And the price tag reflects those claims. 68 cents per ounce for the big keg, 83 cents per ounce for the smaller bottle. But when Consumer Reports tested Zoe Organic, they gave it just 2 out of 5. The reason? Inconsistency. One bottle might taste beautiful, the next bottle might be flat, or rancid, or completely off. In fact, one sample was so questionable that the judges couldn't even confirm it qualified as extra virgin. On top of that, Zoe doesn't print a harvest date on the bottle, and multiple customers have reported receiving orders that were nearly expired, meaning the oil had been sitting in a warehouse or on a shelf for over a year before it reached them. A premium price with rookie mistakes. At number 3, we go back to another UC Davis failure: Star Olive Oil. Star has real American history. It was founded in California back in 1898 by 2 Italian brothers who imported and packed olive oil for a growing immigrant community. For decades, it was a symbol of quality. Then, in 1995, the brand was acquired by Borges. Everything changed. Mass production replaced craftsmanship. Volume replaced value. In the UC Davis study, 61% of Star's samples failed. But here's the part that really stings. Star sources its olive oil from 9 different countries, across 5 continents. That level of blending is almost guaranteed to strip away polyphenols and destroy freshness. There have even been allegations that Star cuts its olive oil with canola oil. And the price? 39 cents per ounce. It sounds like a deal until you realize the truth. The product isn't worth half of that. Now brace yourself, because number 2 might make you angry. Safeway Signature. Select extra virgin olive oil. For years, Safeway proudly sold this product. With a Made in Italy label, shoppers trusted it. They cooked with it. They fed it to their families. Then one customer got suspicious and started digging. And what they found was disturbing. And the oil wasn't actually made in Italy. And worse, it wasn't even extra virgin. Safeway denied the claims for years. But in 2014, that customer took them to court and won. The judge ruled that based on how Safeway was sourcing its oil, the company could not guarantee standards. The court also forced Safeway to stop labeling the product as made in Italy unless it was truly Italian. So now the label just says imported from Italy, which sounds similar but means something different. And guess what? The oil is still blended from Italy, Greece, Spain, Portugal, Tunisia, and Turkey. You are not saving money on this bottle. You're overpaying for something legally proven to be misleading, which brings us to number 1, the most popular olive oil in America, and the biggest fraud on this list, Pompeian. Pompeian has ruled American kitchens for over a century. Family-owned, farmer-owned, certified by the North American Olive Oil Association. The first brand to join the USDA's Voluntary Quality Monitoring Program. On paper, it looks flawless. In reality, Pompeian had the worst failure rate of any brand tested by UC Davis, 94%. That means out of every 18 bottles of Pompeian extra virgin olive oil tested, only one actually passed the extra virgin test. The most common complaint? It doesn't taste like olive oil. That happens when oil is degraded, oxidized, or been blended from too many sources. In Pompeian's case, that means 11 different countries in a single bottle. Customers describe it as bland, greasy, or strangely overripe. Chefs have sued the company. Consumers have sued the company. One lawsuit even alleged that Pompeian was mixing rapeseed oil into its olive oil and selling it as extra virgin. For a brand that constantly brags about values and tradition, that is the ultimate betrayal. Okay, take a breath. That was a lot of bad news, and I don't want you to feel hopeless standing in the olive oil aisle. Because now comes the good part. Before we get into the 5 brands that actually deliver real, honest, healthy, extra virgin olive oil, I want to ask you something. If this video has already helped you look at your pantry differently, drop a comment below with the name of one brand you're going to stop buying. Your comment might save someone else's health too. And while you're there, hit that thumbs up. It genuinely helps this channel reach more families who deserve to know the truth. Now let's talk about the winners. At number 5, we have California Olive Ranch. This is the gold standard for American-made extra virgin olive oil. Over the past decade, this brand has picked up more than 230 awards, from state-level competitions all the way up to the world's biggest olive oil championships. And once you understand how they operate, you'll see why. California Olive Ranch carries the Olive Oil Commission of California certification, which is stricter than the NAAOA certification that Pompeian likes to advertise. Every bottle comes with a QR code that lets you check the exact acidity and polyphenol levels of that specific batch. Yes, that specific batch. You will also find harvest dates clearly printed, and the oil is 100% a single source. This brand actually sponsored the UC Davis study, and their samples came out flawless. But awards and certifications aren't the whole story. The flavor is what really matters. California Olive Ranch has a fresh, grassy taste with a hint of mint and just enough peppery bite to remind you what real olive oil feels like. At 65 cents per ounce, it isn't cheap, but you know exactly what you're paying for. At number 4 is a brand you might not expect, Cobram Estate from Australia. For most people, Australia isn't the first country that comes to mind when they think of olive oil. But in just 27 years, Cobram Estate has become the largest producer in the subcontinent. They've won awards for sustainability, quality, and even one for being the world's healthiest oil. Here is what gives them an edge. Because Australia was new to the game, they had no old habits. They built everything from scratch, using modern cold pressing methods that preserve oleocanthal. So their oil has more of that healthy, peppery bite than most competitors, without being overpowering. Their California line has a soft, nutty flavor with hints of herbs and fruit. Their 100% Australia line has a bolder, more peppery character. With that fresh bitterness, you only get from freshly harvested olives. Every bottle shows the harvest date. Their samples were also flawless in the UC Davis study, and they carry certifications from both the Olive Oil Commission of California and the Australian Olive Association. At nearly $1 per ounce, this is restaurant-grade olive oil for people who take it seriously. At number 3, we have a brand that shocks almost everyone, Kirkland Signature from Costco. When people see a store brand, they usually expect the same low-quality mess we saw earlier. But Kirkland Signature extra virgin olive oil flips that expectation completely on its head. Many food experts now call it one of the best olive oils on the market at any price. It is certified by Bureau Veritas, one of the most respected testing organizations in Europe. Every bottle includes harvest and press dates, ISO numbers, and full country of origin tracing. That's the kind of transparency you almost never see at this price point. Kirkland also gives you options. Their organic line runs at just 28 cents per ounce, which is less than half the price of Zoe Organic without any of the quality compromises. If you want a true single origin product, go for the 100% Italian version. It has a rich, full flavor that is perfect for dipping bread or dressing a fresh salad. The only real downside is that Kirkland tends to sell in large 2-liter jugs, which is amazing if you cook often, but a lot to handle if you don't. At number 2, we have a brand that started as a joke and ended up rewriting the rules, Graza. When Graza first hit the market, olive oil snobs laughed. They mocked the cartoon design. They mocked the plastic squeeze bottle. They mocked the playful names, Drizzle and Sizzle. But everyday cooks fell in love, because behind the fun packaging is a serious product. Graza uses a special variety of olives with a naturally high smoke point and long shelf life, and a high antioxidant content. Wirecutter named Sizzle the best all-purpose olive oil. For searing, roasting, baking, dressing, and frying. Drizzle is designed for finishing dishes. All the olives are grown, pressed, and bottled in Spain in the same season, which is exactly how real olive oil should be made. Consumer Reports gave Graza a 4 out of 5, tying it with California Olive Ranch and Cobram Estate, but at 53 cents per ounce, it costs a fraction of the price. Graza has also started rolling out glass bottles for people who prefer better storage, same great taste, cleaner packaging, and now the moment you've been waiting for. Number 1. The olive oil that defies every rule about price and quality, especially selected Aldi Sicilian. Yes, Aldi. The same Aldi where you buy your groceries on a budget. But this isn't just some cheap knockoff. This is olive oil so good that a professional critic at Tasting Table admitted to adding it to their coffee to make it richer and creamier. Let that sink in. A food critic adding olive oil to coffee on purpose. It comes in a dark glass bottle to protect the oil from light damage. It is certified by an Italian organization and produced entirely in Sicily. The harvest date is printed clearly for peace of mind. Consumer Reports gave it 4 out of 5, praising its fruity, floral, and nutty notes. Other tasters have described the flavor as a beautiful blend of artichoke and green apple. And the price? Just 50 cents per ounce. That means you can use it every day, on bread, in salads, drizzled over pizza, baked into olive oil cake, poured over roasted vegetables. It is affordable enough for daily cooking, and elegant enough for a dinner party. Loyal Aldi shoppers have been quietly praising this oil for years. And now the rest of the world is finally catching up. So here's the bottom line. The olive oil industry has a massive hidden fraud problem. Trusted names have been diluting, mislabeling, and misleading customers for decades, and most people have no idea. But now you do. Now you know which 9 brands to leave on the shelf and which 5 to grab with confidence. The next time you walk into a grocery store, you won't be fooled by fancy Italian words, dramatic history stories, or gold foil labels. You'll look for the harvest date, the country of origin, the polyphenol level, the peppery bite that tells you the oil is alive. Because real olive oil isn't just cooking oil, it is medicine, it is tradition. It is one of the few foods on this planet that has been treasured for thousands of years. Don't let a lying bottle rob you of that gift. Check your pantry tonight. If you see any of the 9 brands we exposed today, toss them out and switch to one of the 5. Your heart, your brain, and your future self will thank you. And if this video helped even one person in your family eat cleaner, that's a win worth sharing.